Coming to Kickstarter this June, John Haynes at Death's Door, the man who rules the world, takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed all-new John Haynes comic book. Get your copy of the standard and variant editions of John Haynes at Death's Door and lots of other great stretch goal rewards on Kickstarter this June. Last week, a woman in West Virginia may have possibly prevented a mass shooting when she shot a man who began firing an AR-15 style rifle into a crowd of people who had gathered for a graduation slash birthday party. Now, in this incident, your 37-year-old Dennis Butler was shot and killed right after he pulled out the rifle and began shooting at dozens of people who had attended the birthday slash graduation party outside the apartment complex in the city of Charleston. Now, your Dennis Butler allegedly was driving a vehicle earlier in the evening and had been warned by people in the area to slow down because children were playing. Now, it's alleged that he left but returned later, parked in front of the complex, and began firing. Now, the police are seeing this as an isolated incident, but when I take a critical examination of the behavior of Dennis Butler, it fits right in line with the pattern and profile for beta males that I have talked about in my book, The Man Crisis. And it looks like to me that your Dennis Butler had a serious issue with people asserting authority and telling him that he could not drive the way he wanted to drive, and this seems to have triggered the anger in your Dennis Butler and led to him going out here and looking to do harm to the partygoers who were celebrating a birthday and a graduation at this apartment complex. And this basically proves my point about your beta males, that it's the least little thing that sets these guys off to explode in rage, and as they're exploding in rage, they look to participate in a spectrum of violent behaviors because many of these males, they want to get their way, and anybody who challenges them disrupts their smooth world, and anyone who disrupts their smooth world, they seek to do harm to. And what's really troubling here is that your Dennis Butler was looking to do harm to women and children, people who were just celebrating a party for a birthday and a graduation, and he was upset because people told him how to drive because there were children in the area. Now, any other man out here understanding that he is responsible for other people, he is going to say, okay, I'm driving in an area with children and I need to drive with care because these children's safety is more important than me needing to get where I need to go. And when he hears people telling him, hey, look out, there are kids here, this is not going to be the thing that triggers him to get so angry that he looks to explode in rage and do harm to innocent little children and women and families who are celebrating an event. No, a man is going to navigate through his emotions, understand, okay, if these people are celebrating here, they have definitely got a permit to do this, and he's going to find some alternative place to park his vehicle, and he's going to just let the whole thing go because he understands these people have a right to have their celebration, but this man, because he was so upset about being told that he couldn't do something he wanted to do and he could not get his way and his world could not be made smooth, he wanted to settle this conflict by making others miserable in his company, and he also wanted to ruin the night for everyone at that birthday slash graduation party. That is the motive that I believe this beta male used to go out here and participate in this extreme as related to the spectrum of violent behaviors and look to participate in the mass shooting of all of those partygoers. because I believe that after he left in his vehicle, and then because he was told to slow down and then returned later, he had been planning to do this mass shooting, and he decided to bring his AR-15 style rifle to this party at this apartment complex in Charleston, and look to go out here and make everybody's life miserable by looking to murder as many people as possible with this weapon. That's what I believe this beta male was trying to do, and it really shows how sick these beta males are, that he's going to look to go out here and murder people at a time of celebration, and it just shows how sick and twisted this individual was. But thank God there was an individual there who was carrying their own firearm, and they were able to stop this individual before they could wind up taking the lives of innocent children, the same way that the Uvalde mass shooter went out here and murdered 19 children. I just thank God that this woman was here with a firearm, and she had the courage to defend the lives of those who could not defend themselves from this coward who decided to bring out his 22 calibers of courage to go out here and attack those, all because he was told that he could not drive the way he wanted to drive. I'm thankful that this woman was here and had the courage to take this individual out. And taking that individual out protected dozens of innocent children who, again, could not defend themselves in any way, shape, or form, and protected many individuals, and basically proves the point that this is not a gun control issue, because we clearly see that it is the male who has the problem, because this male was raised in a dysfunctional fashion, and this male's whole issue is that he has problems with authority figures telling him what to do. He has problems with critical thinking. He has problems with the ability to problem solve, and he can't use logic and reason. And this basically proves my point that the gun is not the issue here, because this woman in West Virginia, she had a gun, and she wasn't looking to participate in a violence like a mass shooting. But this male was looking to participate in this kind of violence, basically, again, because of the dysfunctional way he was raised, and because of the dysfunctional way he was raised, he was looking to do harm to others over a minor slight. So this whole incident basically proves my point about how what with this violence we're seeing with all of these mass shootings is not a gun issue. No, this is not a gun issue. It is a family issue, because we have two individuals who were carrying firearms, and the female who was carrying the firearm used her gun in a responsible fashion to defend those people who were at that party. But this beta male, he was looking to do harm to those people, and the reason why he wanted to do harm to those people basically was because he was told that he could not get his way, and because he could not get his way, he exploded in anger and looked to go out here and participate in one of the most extreme acts of violence, because he wanted to go out here and hurt these people, ruin their evening, and he wanted to go out in infamy by going out here by hurting those around him. Again, this proves the point that it's not the gun that's the problem as related to these mass shootings. No, this is a problem as related to the way we are raising boys to become men, because these men clearly don't understand concepts, again, like critical thinking, the ability to use logic and reason, the ability to problem solve, and the ability to navigate through your emotions. Because again, a rational, critical thinking man in this situation, if he's driving down a street and he sees kids playing on that street, he is going to approach with caution. And in some cases, if he sees that, okay, there's a celebration on this street, he's going to try to find some place to park on the side, or he's going to try to work with those people to get his vehicle in reverse so it doesn't harm anyone, and he's going to try to find another alternative to a parking space or another alternative to be able to access this apartment complex, because he's going to understand that the health and safety of those children should come as a top priority. Yes, it might be a bit of an inconvenience that they are celebrating in the apartment complex, but he's going to look out for the health and safety of all of the individuals on that complex, especially if they are children. And he's going to look out for those children because he understands those children cannot protect themselves, and as a man, he wants to protect those children and ensure that they are safe. But your beta males don't really care much about anyone, because many of these beta males live in their own world, and because they live in their own smooth world, they don't want to deal with any sort of conflicts or problems or obstacles, and anybody who makes their lives a little bit inconvenient, they see as an enemy. They have to go out here and do harm to. And that's what happened here in this situation in Charleston, West Virginia. This selfish, narcissistic, beta coward, he went on to hurt these people, all because he couldn't have his way. And it really shows how sick and twisted these beta males are, because again, you're going after children, and you're going after after women, and this is the same type of cowardly action that the Tops supermarket shooter participated in, and the Uvalde shooter participated in, looking to hurt little children, looking to hurt women, looking to hurt elderly people, looking to hurt families, looking to hurt people in an effort to get power over for themselves by taking power from those who have no power at all. And that's what makes these kinds of males sick and twisted. They just look to hurt those who cannot fight back, and that's what this guy thought. I'm going to hurt these people who can't fight back. But thank God, one of these women did fight back, and I believe, sadly, in this day and age, with so many beta males out here being landmines, that we need more people, sadly, to be able to conceal carry, because this is possibly the equalizer as related to these beta males, because a lot of these beta males, the main reason why they participate in these shootings, I believe, is because they know people can't fight back, but if they knew that people could fight back, this would be a deterrent to a lot of these beta males. They would understand that, okay, you're thinking you're going to get this advantage by hurting people. You think you're going to go out here and be able to harm people when they won't, and because they can't defend themselves. But I believe if people were able to defend themselves, this would really be one of those detriments to a lot of this violence, sadly, because these guys, they look to do harm to others because they feel powerless, and they feel like the only way they can get power is by destroying those around them by having more firepower. But thankfully, again, in this case, this did stop the violence, and it stopped this man before he could go out here and hurt other innocent children. And thankfully, this guy was taken out before he could take the lives of other people. That is what I am truly grateful for in this situation. But again, this whole case shows us it is not the guns that's the problem. It is the way we have been raising the boys to become men. And this man in crisis wound up looking to make a crisis and make misery for a lot of people. But thankfully, it shows us again that it's not the gun that's the problem. It is the man crisis, and the man crisis is due to the fact that the people, don't want to talk about the deterioration of the family. We, the people, don't want to talk about the collapse of the family, because we don't want to point a finger at the woman who said she could raise a boy to become a man, and we don't also want to point a finger at these politicians who created these policies to create the single-parent home through social engineering by establishing a welfare state for 60 years, establishing a broken home through no-fault divorce, and promoting single motherhood as a social norm, and eliminating fathers and demonizing men. Now, the way we stop these types of incidents, again, is not going to be gun control. The thing that we are going to have to do is we're going to have to start raising boys to become men who have self-control, and the way we do that is by investing in men. Unfortunately, many of our politicians don't want to work on that solution because they and the corporate bosses are profiting right now, and they don't want to deal with this whole situation. No, they would rather let the violence go on because they don't want anybody pointing fingers at them. And then you also have the mothers who don't want the fingers pointed at them for creating these kinds of males. But the whole problem with this whole situation is it's not going to be solved through legislation. It's going to be solved when people acknowledge we have a man crisis in this country and that we're not effectively raising boys to become healthy young men. Now, if you want to learn more about what leads to many of these boys growing up to become dysfunctional men like this who use violence to solve problems, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis on Smashwords, the iBook store, and Google Play. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, ISIS Legacy. Sorority secrets of the goddess next door are revealed in this all-new ISIS series adventure. Get ISIS Legacy in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere.